Hi, evening, Shanique.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'm just waiting. You're the first person to be here, so I'm hoping everybody will be here by 5:15.
Sir, what happened to you on Monday?
I honestly didn't realize that summer school started because we are still marking semester 2 exam papers, so I didn't realize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, evening, everybody. I think it's a small group. It should be about 6 of you. Or let me just double check. 6. So half the class is here. Usually you begin with a quorum. Or let's wait until another person comes and then we begin. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. Let me just hear you say something so I know that you are hearing me and that I know that you are there.
Evening, sir.
All right. I'm just trying to adjust my mouse. All right, so my name is Robin Clark, and I'll be engaging you for the next few weeks for summer school. I must apologize for my absence on Monday. I honestly thought summer school began next week rather. And because I've now completed my marking, so I got the link and everything, and I was like, why are they sending me the link so early? Not realizing that summer school had indeed started. So I apologize for that. You guys are logistics students, I think. You're all doing logistics.
Yes, sir.
And you're in year 2, I assume. This is your final semester. Is it your final semester?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's a final semester, all right. And you know, sometimes the final semester can be quite grueling, especially since you're on your way out. I humbly suggest you continue. You go and do your first degree. You don't just stop at the associate degree. That's my recommendation. You can take my foolish advice or not. So Robin Clark is the name. I'm the Dean of Marketing and Communications at the college. I'm sure you get a lot of advisories from OMMC about exams, about all kinds of stuff, all right? Most times I'm the person who is sending those correspondence because they're being sent to my office, and then my office has the responsibility of disseminating it to students. So that's one of my roles at the college. I'm a senior lecturer, trained educator. I've been teaching since 2004, so I have years of experience. My first degree is actually international relations and literatures in English. So international business is something that is the first time I'm teaching it, but I have taught many content areas. When I looked at the course outline, many of those areas are actually captured in other courses that I've taught. And I'm actually teaching another course, which is Introduction to Principles of Marketing, because I'm also a trained marketer. So I have different, my first degree is IR and English. My master's is in cultural studies. I have a postgraduate diploma in marketing research. I have a postgraduate diploma in English language education. I have a diploma in teaching English as a second language. So I'm kind of all over the place. And I've studied in Jamaica and I've studied in Canada. So I have, different strands. I'm actually published as well. One of my book chapters, I've written a lot about Jamaican dancehall and Jamaican culture, is in a second book, published by Uri Press. Well, so the book it's not my book. One of the chapters in the book was written by me. So I'm also an author, and I was also on radio for a year on a program called Love and Sex with Dr. Karen Carpenter, where we talked about family and, all kinds of stuff, things that affect love and family and relationships and stuff like that. I looked at it through a cultural lens. She's a trained psychologist and sexologist, and so she looked at it through a very academic or psychological or sexological lens, if there's such a word, one for better terms. So that's my introduction to you in terms of as a professional. All right, so I'm going to go according to my participants list. I want to know a little bit about you. I don't think I've ever interacted with any of you. I have taught logistics, or I've taught students who are in your program. I've taught them principles of academic writing. I actually wrote that course. I'm the one who actually wrote that course at the request of then head of school, Mrs. Gwinnett Jackson. So I've taught students in the program before, but not you guys. So let me start with Christopher Johnson. Go ahead for me. Just tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are. What is it that you hope to accomplish from the course, or anything that you think that we need to know, or I need to know, because I'm sure probably your classmates already know you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christopher Johnson, 27. This is actually my first degree, second year. International business. I hope to learn or gain as much knowledge that can prepare me for the world of work in the future.
Okay. All right.
I'm currently in the national security line of work.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Is this Kayla Poiser? Go ahead, Kayla.
Hi, sir. So I'm a customer service agent. Was encouraged about the whole logistics program. And I would like to gain knowledge as well that can benefit me going forward in completing my bachelor's degree. And I'm also a second year student as well.
Okay, all right, thank you. Shanique Samuels, go ahead. Shanique, are you there?
Yeah, sir, I'm still at work. Yeah, Shanique. 4 aisle, 1 aisle filter.
Okay, that's okay. All right, so, and I've been in those situations where you're trying to do so many different things. I've been into 2 meetings or so forth, so I know it's very challenging for some of you. You are working professionals, so it's sometimes very difficult to balance everything. However, when it comes down to my assignments, there will be no excuses. I don't take excuses for my assignments. All right, let me ask you this. So the course is called International Business. What do you expect to learn about, to interact with? What do you think the course is about? You can type in the chat or just talk aloud. What are some of the topics that you think we'll discuss in the course? Course is called International Business. What are some of the topics you think we'll be discussing in the course? All right, so one person said global trade. Anybody else? That's from Kayla Poiser. And you can say, if you want to say additional things, Kayla, you can go ahead. Christopher, other persons, give us something. What do you think the course is about? What are some of the topics you think we'll be discussing or exploring or examining?
So basically, global trade, marketing, technology and service, transportation to some extent.
The course is called International Business. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? Come on, guys. I need for you to talk. I'm not a teacher where I'm gonna come and I just spit information at you. That's not how I teach. You have to be very interactive. All right, so Ms. Poiser says collaboration of businesses across the world, global trade. Christopher, you mentioned global trade. What do you think global trade means? What is the meaning of global trade in your own mind? How would you define global trade? And whether it be Christopher or anybody else want to take a hazard a guess about what is the meaning of global trade? Hello? What's the meaning of global trade? And it's not about being wrong or right. It's not about having a textbook definition. We're just having an introductory conversation based on what is said. Anything from Shanique, Rachel, Kayla, Christopher? Global trade. You can type in the chat. Oh, I think that's what, yes, go ahead, Rachel.
Sir, I think global trade means that you not only can conduct, like I am from Jamaica, so it is not extended to just like the Caribbean island. I can trade all around the world, the entire globe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing we will learn in the course, and I'm not sure if you were told before, is that you never speak in the first person. So don't say I or we, all right? So you're correct, Rachel, but say that firms or local companies are able to, sell or trade their goods and services outside of Jamaica or outside of the Caribbean. Anything that is outside of Jamaica is really international. Usually they use the term regional when groups of countries, they call them states, come together and have some kind of, whether it be, so if it's 2 countries, it's called a bilateral agreement. If it's more than 2 countries, it's called a multilateral agreement. So these countries might come together and form, quote unquote, a regional bloc. And there are various reasons for that. And, we have CARICOM is one example. We have the European Union is another example. We have NAFTA. We have so many different regional blocks all over the world. And in part, it's about global trade. All right. Let's look at the course outline. Let's look at the course outline to see if global trade is actually on it. Let me just share my screen. So let's just take a very clinical examination of the course outline. All right, let me know if you're seeing my screen. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes. So it says, the course is designed to prepare students to utilize the concepts of international business in the global business environment. It aims to facilitate a better understanding of international business, financial strategies, international trade, investment, and implementing business strategies. And then, of course, that now is broken down into units. So unit 1 looks at really the etymology of international business. And once you're talking about that, you're going to talk about globalization, multinational corporations, foreign direct investments. Does anybody know anything about any of these terms? Are you familiar with these terms? Do you know what they mean, or can hazard a guess? Anybody has any idea about globalization, multinational corporations, or foreign direct investment, what it means, or any examples or anything like that?
Sir, we're just not familiar with the foreign, the FDI.
Mm-hmm. Which one are you familiar with? And can you give me an example? All right, can I think of any? So unit 2 looks at introduction to international business. Again, no, there's a granular examination of international business and looking at specific examples and also where they are found in the world. All right, and probably to how they inform the geography of the world. All right, so we see geography foundations, countries and regions of the world. And to some extent, I was talking about it in terms of the regional blocks that are formed all over the world. And now, and this course outline to some extent needs some updating. And now there are concerns about global labor. All right, because there are some populations in the world where quote unquote multinational corporations exploit the labor or the labor force of developing countries in the Caribbean and in parts of continental Africa, in part in China, all over. All right, and we are going to look at some of that as well. The unit 3 says international organizations, and these and it looks at some of the international organizations. The World Trade Organization, I'm sure it's supposed to be looking at other international organizations, right? NAFTA, CAFTA, these are all some of the other ones, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and looking to what informs or what factors led to the formation of these international organizations and how they now affect international business, international trade, and things like that. All right. Under unit 4, we have international theory, trade theory, and these theories are just really to help us to flesh out or examine how international businesses operate in the global business environment, or how they should operate. You'll find that some of the theories are outdated and some of them are very much accurate in terms of their description and prescription of the international business environment. When we're talking about international business entry strategies, of course, you're going to have international companies or international businesses that want to enter certain markets in certain regions or in certain countries, and there are factors that will affect that. And also they now have to have strategies in place that will help them to get a competitive advantage in the marketplace, especially in that part of the region. And you'll find too that these companies, they have to be, part of their strategy is to understand the local culture of a country. If you think about Jamaica and KFC? Anybody, what, when you think about Jamaicans and KFC, what comes to mind? What do you think? What are some of the kinds of myths or perceptions of Jamaicans and KFC? Come on, people, let's talk. I'm listening. Hello, Jamaicans and KFC, talk to me.
Sir, what do you mean by Jamaicans and KFC?
So I was speaking about it in the context.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was saying is that you're going to have international businesses that want to enter certain regions of the world or certain countries in the world. And one of the things that they must bear in mind are the kinds of cultural nuances of each country. So Jamaicans are different from Trinidadians, Jamaicans are different from Canadians, Canadians are different from Jamaicans, Jamaicans are different from Americans. So there are certain considerations that have to be taken. There are certain considerations by companies that wish to operate in different parts of the world. And I was using the example of, I was asking the question about Jamaicans and KFC. Remember, KFC is a multinational corporation,
Yes,
right?
sir.
We know that, right?
Yes, sir.
But what do we know about Jamaicans and KFC?
Sir, that the only thing I know is that KFC in Jamaica is a different type of KFC.
Right.
With the KFC that you get in America or Trinidad is not the same KFC that you'll get into Jamaica. It all boils down to like specifications, like as you say, as to our culture. So we probably like the different type of seasoning versus America would probably like it blanch.
Right.
So our KFC would have been more in depth with how we prepare our food.
And it therefore means too that if they are going to prepare KFC for Jamaicans in a cultural way, it therefore means that they need what? Jamaican labor.
Yes.
All right. So again, we see where a multinational corporation such as a KFC will affect how the culture of the country will affect the business decisions and strategies that are used, but also to how these companies affect the countries in terms of labor. Because when you're looking at labor now, we have to look at the type of labor, we have to look at the wages that are being given to the persons, and also to the interaction between the MNC and the government. If there are, I don't know if you've ever heard about like tax holidays, where some countries, if they invest in your country, they'll say to the government of the day, okay, I'm going to invest in your country, employ 7,000 Jamaicans, but I don't want to pay tax for the next 10 years. Some will stay after the 10 years and some will leave, because the moment they're going to start paying taxes, they have a problem. All right, and as I said, this is just an introduction. The effects of culture on international business, and I think we were kind of having that conversation earlier about how elements of a culture can affect how a business operates. And anybody has ever heard the term theocracy? Ever heard that term? Theocracy?
Okay.
Tell me a word that rhymes with theocracy. What word rhymes with theocracy?
Sir, democracy?
Democracy. So what do we know about democracy?
Democracy has to do with as like people and place. I don't remember, sir.
Yes, anybody else? So when you're talking about democracy, you're talking about freedom, fundamental rights and freedoms,
Yes,
right?
sir, like the majority has power, has the power
to choose governments and things like that. Theocracies are the opposite. So in some countries, women don't have certain rights. In some countries, men dress a certain way, women dress a certain way. In some countries, people get married at a certain age, things like that. And an international business that wants to operate in certain countries, they have to ensure they do their homework, because these particular cultures will affect the food preparation, sometimes the design of the building, sometimes where they are located, sometimes their operating hours, sometimes how the men and women are dressed at the workplace, the operating hours. There are so many different things that might affect an international business that operates in different parts of the world. All right. So this is why when I hear a person say that Jamaica is a Christian country, that is not true. Jamaica is a secular democracy, because the country itself is not governed by religion. Countries that are governed by religion are called theocracies. And I don't want to necessarily name any specific country, but of course, many of the Middle Eastern countries are theocracies. But on this side of the hemisphere, or this side of the world, we live in what are called democracies. And this is why you see all over the world, in democratic societies, people are fighting for fundamental rights and freedoms. In America, we see African Americans fighting for all kinds of rights, things like that. All right, I don't know that Jamaicans, we really fight. We kind of block road today, and tomorrow we're going back to, even if KFC raised the chicken, we complain today, and then tomorrow we want to show off on the neighbor that we can afford it. We're a little bit different. Then we go to the understanding the international business environment. And I like the fact that they're talking about political structures, because you're talking about different types of governments that exist around the world. We're talking about economic systems. The economic system that exists, for example, in Cuba is different from the one that exists in Jamaica, is different from the one that exists in China. China is called, the term, if I remember the term that we used for China, it is a communist democracy or something. Like there's a kind of what I call a paradoxical term, where parts of the society or parts of the economy is very free market oriented and another part is very communist based, because the government still has a say in terms of the production of goods and services. So those particular things will also affect the international business environment. We see technology, especially now in COVID, how some companies are leveraging technology to reach their customers, how some international businesses are using technology to spread and expand their reach and their markets. And this is where the whole discussion about globalization and internationalization comes into play. In the other module, you see international trade policies. In other words, if my country is going to do business with your country, there must be some protocols involved about what we can do and what we cannot do, what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and what are the consequences if either side breaches the protocol. I'm using the word protocol in a very cavalier way here. There are more sophisticated terms that are used in the foreign policy relating to international trade policies, like tariffs and subsidies and embargoes and things like that. And you'll find here a lot of discussion about capitalism and free market capitalism, as well as communism or socialism. And you see that kind of tug of war. The perfect example in Jamaica would be the PNP and the JLP. So some Jamaicans perceive the JLP as very free market, is a society that pushes capitalism, as opposed to the PNP that pushes socialism. I wouldn't say communism, but socialism. Socialism in this context means giving away a lot of free stuff. In other words, people don't want to work, they want to get a lot of free stuff. And you see the same kind of tug of war in America, where Democrats are seen, well, sometimes they're accused of being a socialist, and the Republicans are seen as only for the capitalists. All right. And these kinds of policies that are set by their local governments affect how international businesses operate in their home country as well as around the world. Then you have international financial issues. And we know that the big one that we have in Jamaica is foreign exchange, right? The dollar goes, the dollar suffers. As a result, things become more expensive. All right. And this right now, I'm sure you're seeing a difference in your, let's say, trolley when you go to the supermarket or when you go to the market, in terms of the number of items you're able to purchase, because the prices of these things have gone up significantly. And especially since you guys are doing supply chain, you would understand too how supply chain or the absence of it, or if it is not properly coordinated, how that in and of itself can cause inflation or increases in prices and things like that. And finally, we'll go into ethics in international business. Very, very important. You know, when you talk about ethics, we're talking about good and bad, right and wrong, moral and immoral. And sometimes you have companies that really engage in these kinds of unethical behavior. I'm sure you have heard about child labor in China. A lot of issues relating to child labor in China and things like that. All right. And I'm sure you have seen the movie Blood Diamond and how some North American companies, they know that they're causing bloodshed in these countries, and yet they still allow it to happen because they want the diamonds to sell to Hollywood elites and persons like that. When it comes on to the course assessment now, one of the things that we will be doing is we're going to do this on each Wednesday, but not this Wednesday. Each Wednesday, the second hour will be our tutorial hour. This is where each student now will present on a topic. All right, I'm going to give you the outline, what I call the tutorial paper, and you're going to choose your topic and you're going to do a presentation. After you have done your presentation, the paper itself, the written paper, is due a week after, and you're going to upload it to Turnitin, and I'll show you how to upload to Turnitin and all of that. Just remember that issues relating to academic integrity, very, very, very important. So if you plagiarize, you can't blame anybody but yourself when you don't get a very good grade. All right, and Turnitin will tell me if you have plagiarized. Just yesterday we had a meeting. I was in a meeting, and the issue of student plagiarizing, persons, because it's virtual, they're uploading their papers to other places to check to see if their answers are correct or 4 answers, and then uploading it to us, not realizing that we would be able to see that those things are being done. So just ensure that you are, you maintain your integrity when you are doing your schoolwork. And it's not just for my course, but for all other courses. All right, so it will be for the internal tests. I'm just giving you one mid-semester test, and then the other quote-unquote test will be the presentation, the tutorial. The common coursework will be a research paper on one of, I'm going to give you some broad topics, and then you're going to choose one, and you're going to work in pairs, all right, in pairs, and write your paper. All right, and of course, I'm going to guide you along the process. I don't know if I said this, but I'm a trained English teacher as well. All right. Oh yes, and I didn't mention that I taught at UWI, taught academic writing, and teach everything relating to culture and creative and cultural industries in the Institute of Caribbean Studies at UWI. And I've taught at UCC, was a full-time staff there at one point, and I've been there. I've taught there for so many years as an adjunct faculty. I was adjunct faculty for about 3 years at International University of the Caribbean. So I've, outside of Excelsior, I've been teaching and I now teach in, I actually live in Canada. I'm in Jamaica now, but I live in Canada. And I teach in Canada as well. I teach what is called IELTS, and I teach English as a second language. All right, so the important thing to remember is that academic integrity is fundamental to the process of your own learning. Any questions? Usually I'm not talking this much, but because it's an introductory class, I am kind of walking you through some of the stuff. Okay. All right, so let me ask you this. What would you say what are some of the things that, what are some of your own expectations of the lecturer? What are your expectations of me? You can type in the chat, or you can, I prefer if you talk instead of just type in the chat, because sometimes a statement doesn't give context to really what you're thinking. What are your expectations of the lecturer? Come on, guys. I'm listening.
For me, once me the unit them on time and a guideline on how the exam will set up, it's good for me.
What do you mean by the units?
The PowerPoint presentation, the Word document for each unit.
All right, so that will not happen with me, because what is going to happen, you're going to sit and rely on me to give you a PowerPoint. what I've realized, and not even me, what we have realized over the years is that students don't sometimes come to the class because they're relying on the PowerPoint. They don't listen and they don't participate and they don't do their own readings. That's a big, big problem. I'm not going to necessarily send you PowerPoint to sit down and read. You're going to actually have to sit down, and that I will ensure that you get access to information because they haven't put the course on Moodle yet because I was checking, but it's not going to be a situation where I'm going to send you PowerPoint. Moodle is going to have all the information that you need, at least all the information. They usually summarize it. It's not full, but you will have to do some reading on your own. This is a higher level course, I must tell you. All right, so PowerPoint, all of that information is going to be on Moodle. So I'm not going to be sending any PowerPoint presentations. I might upload a few things to Moodle. That's where you're going to go and get the content. All right. In terms of the exam, all you need to do is to request past papers for the course from the library, and they will once you request them, they'll send them to you. So you get a sense of what the course is about, how they assess the course, or what the nature of the questions look like. And also to the tutorial question that I told you about on the research paper will reflect how you are assessed. In other words, I'm kind of pre-preparing you for the final exam in that sense. So, but thanks for that, Mr. Johnson. Kayla, any specific expectations of the lecturer?
So you're saying that we will not be using Canvas?
No, Canvas is not our learning platform. The learning platform for CCCJ courses is Moodle. Is this a CCCJ course? Yes, it is, because this is you're doing an associate degree, right?
Yes.
Right, it's a CCCJ course. So we are no longer permitted to use Canvas. We have to go to Moodle. You never used Moodle before?
Once, and was a headache.
No, it's not that difficult. And there are some videos now that are out that can assist you in terms of using it. It's actually similar to Canvas. It's just that because students were using Canvas for such a long time, they prefer Canvas. All right, but it's not really that difficult. When the course is there, we can go there together and I'll show you how to access information. Kayla, Poisa, Rachel. Am I pronouncing your name correct? Is it Rachel? That's how you pronounce your first name. Shanique, any expectations of the lecturer? I've heard from Mr. Johnson. Anything from the women in the class? Hello, Kayla. Ms. Poisa, are you able to talk?
Nothing specific, sir. Just guidance when it's needed.
Guidance, yes, okay. All right, fair enough. Rachel, are you able to talk? I think you said you were on the road. I'm not sure if you're able to talk, but you were able to say something before. So I'm not sure if you're still able to do that. Shanique, able to talk? I don't think I've heard Shanique's voice, have I? I'm trying to remember. Miss Samuels, not able to talk? No, not able to talk? Okay, remember people, it's very important to participate. Very, very important. I think I spoke about the assessment pieces where I said that the common course rate that values 20% will be a research paper. And because the class is small, I'm going to ask you to work in pairs. I see 6 persons on my list. I see 4 now. So it can be just two persons. And then I will show you actually.
I think they got that number incorrect, you know.
How many persons you are usually in?
It's supposed to be Kayla, me, Shanique, Raman, Wayne, Maurice, Christopher Johnson. It's 7.
Oh, it's 7. Okay. All right. So it could be that one person didn't register. Oh, okay, Shanique, I hear you. Oh, it could be that one person hasn't registered. Could you just advise him or her to register? Because once they haven't registered, then I'm not going to see them on my list.
Sir, I think that other person should be Wayne Barnes.
Wayne Barnes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Another thing, do you think we need a WhatsApp group?
Sorry, if you don't, Kumujin, I don't want to give us a number because a lot of teachers think we're going to call them outside.
No man, I only use I only use my Canadian numbers and they can't call me on them.
Some don't want to call a Canadian number.
No, I use that's the number I usually use, and my phone is deliberately on airplane mode, so no one can call me, but you can WhatsApp me and I will respond.
Okay.
But usually what I do it with in the WhatsApp group, sometimes you might see something that might be interested, something that is interesting, I might share it in the group. It could be something that you could use in your presentation, or you could even cite in your paper or something like that. So let me know. So I'm hearing from, I think this is Rachel who is talking. And anybody else, do you think we need a WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir, that would be fine.
All right, so who's going to create the WhatsApp group? Who's techno savvy?
Sir, before I forgot, one of our students is currently on the work program. So I heard they mention something about students must not depend on the PowerPoints, but I think that student is not able to attend classes, so the PowerPoints will be a guide for him.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, that all those information will be on Moodle. So he can visit Moodle and get all the information that he or she needs. I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, on Monday, there was a girl who's not a part of supply chain as well. She probably need a course to finish. All right, so who's going to create the group? Why not? Everybody's saying we need a group, but nobody's wants to create the group.
Sir, I will do it. She just waiting on you to send the number in the chat.
No, normally just create it and then you share the link and then you just click on the link to join. That's usually how we do it, instead of sending numbers. Can you do that, Kayla? Just create the group and then share the link in the chat and we just click and join.
Yes, sir, but we already have everybody else's number. The only number we don't have is yours.
All right, so share the link for me.
Okay.
I remember now, there are certain well, I'll wait until you share the link before I say anything relating to that. Did you share the link?
No, sir, just a minute.
Okay. I was just checking. Okay. Work thing, work. So let me click on it. Is it clickable? Why is it not clicking? Oh. Join the chat. It's which number this now, Lord Jesus? Looks like you don't have use WhatsApp web. All right, which number is this? All right, so the group has been created. Thank you very much. All right, so the ground rules surrounding WhatsApp groups now. Please, no good morning, no motivational talks or speeches. Do not
Sir,
share.
that's not in our group. We just strictly schoolwork because we don't have any time for that.
Okay, just giving the public service announcement.
No, sir. Nah,
I
not
get
this group.
okay. I get pretty annoyed with all persons who want to motivate me and inspire me. But I will share things relating to the college, not just to the course, because it's easier for you to get the information. For example, there's a workshop.
Sir, don't want to send no, you don't want us to send no motivational speech, send whatever you want, send we go to college that we email.
Well, if it is that you want to be put at a disadvantage, because many times it's a job.
No, sir, I'm just trying to get back at you.
Yeah. So, for example, there is one that I'm going to share. That's the thing is tomorrow. It's a job fair. They sent me, and I sent it to students already, but I kind of put something in my email as a reminder so that I can again send to students if I can find that email. Let me see if I can find it, because I could actually share it with you guys. But everybody's already working. Oh, no new job. You guys are on.
Who tell you that?
Well,
yes. Somebody at work, somebody on the road.
Oh, okay. All right, let me see. Let me share something. All right, so this is copy. So this job fair is tomorrow, and they're recruiting for all kinds of things. All right. It's the GSS, I think, Virtual Talent Hub Fair from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Okay. So we talked about WhatsApp. All right. Even though I think you may have been introduced to it, I'm still going to do my netiquette. Neti. Right, because I find that sometimes students are not as mindful as they should about learning in a virtual environment. It's a little bit different, and there are certain things that you should and should not do. I find sometimes, even though I teach adults, sometimes I have to remind them. So we're going to look at internet etiquette or netiquette. What are some of the do's and don'ts? And then at the other end of the video, we have a conversation.
You're wondering, how does Grammarly work? The answer lies in complex, cutting-edge algorithms.
How you present yourself online is how your instructors and classmates will perceive you throughout your online coursework. That's why it's important to understand basic guidelines for internet etiquette, also known as netiquette.
You guys are hearing, right? Hello, you were hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
These are some tips to make a good first impression. Address your instructor by his or her proper title, unless instructed otherwise. For example, an instructor who has earned their PhD should be addressed as doctor. When in doubt, use professor, Mr., or Miss. Be clear by adding a short and descriptive subject line to your email and discussion posts. When writing emails, provide the course number to the subject line so that your instructor knows which class you are referring to. Be concise when writing emails, but don't treat them like text messages. Use professional language. Avoid the use of slang and abbreviations such as LOL and TTYL. Similarly, use emoticons sparingly. While they can sometimes help portray emotions, they're not usually welcome in the professional environment. If you are asking for something, such as clarification about an assignment, be sure to say please and thank you within your message. Finally, proofread your messages by checking for any grammar or spelling mistakes before sending or posting. You want to make sure that your audience can easily read and understand your email. Therefore, avoid using unusual and colored fonts. Consider using a sans serif font, such as Arial or Helvetica. Use a font size that people won't have difficulty reading, such as 12 or 14 point. Be sure to reference your course syllabus for guidelines regarding font style and size for other assignments. Although you may think it's stylish, avoid using wallpapers and colored backgrounds.
People, mute your mic, mute your mics.
These may make messages difficult to read. Conclude your email with a respectful sign-off, such as best regards, sincerely, or simply thank you. Finally, consider adding a signature to your emails. Include your name, major, and return email address. Do not use profanity in an email or discussion post. It is inappropriate and could offend your audience. If you find yourself writing an email while upset or angry, save it and come back to it once you have had the opportunity to calm down and respond in a positive manner. Review it and eliminate any negative language before sending. Finally, avoid using all capital letters. On the internet, all caps often indicates yelling or anger. Always be respectful of your instructor and fellow students. Do not write hurtful comments about a fellow student's work, comments, or ideas. Keep an open mind. You will be taking classes with students who come from different backgrounds than your own. Be willing to learn about others' social and cultural norms and share your own. Choose your words carefully. Sarcasm and jokes can be taken the wrong way without cues from the teller's tone of voice and body language. Think critically before sending an email to everyone in your class or replying to everyone. Ask yourself if everyone really needs to see the message. If forwarding an email out of respect for the original sender, make sure you have permission to pass on the message. Finally, do not send spam or chain letters to your fellow classmates. Instead, maintain professional communication boundaries. Be smart with what you share online. Avoid sharing too much about your personal life with fellow students and instructors. Be professional and courteous without being soul-bearing. If you're experiencing a personal struggle that may impact your coursework, you may wish to reach out to your instructor privately. Think twice before disclosing company information. Most workplaces legally require you to keep company information confidential. Remember, information on the internet is public. Once information is online, you cannot remove it. Also, don't forget that even what you write anonymously can be traced back to you. If you remember one thing, let it be this. Do not do or say online what you would not do or say offline. Please visit our website for more information about SU State.
All right, so what are some of the do's and don'ts of the virtual environment? I am listening.
Sir, you must address your lecturer by their correct title. I have to pick him up.
Yes.
Must ask for permission before you share information. And yes.
Yes, anything else? Anyone else? Anything else?
Send chain messages.
Do not send chain messages, yes. I think there's something in the chat. Let's see. Right, so the person says, do not send spam emails, yes. All right, is this the first time you're seeing this video or anything similar to it?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
You're not hearing me, guys?
We're here right now.
Oh, you know, I pressed something. So all this time I was talking to you and you were not hearing me, my Lord. I was asking about consultation. What time do I have you on a Monday?
7 to 9.
Okay, so it's 7 to 9. Right, so our consultation will be on a Monday after class. That's the only time I can accommodate you. So let us say that you are going to do a presentation or an assignment or whatever it is. You're trying to understand some content. We can have a one-on-one during that time, you know, just to look at what you're writing or what you're thinking and to help you to develop your paper. All right, so just remember that. That consultation is on Mondays, 9 to 9:30. I'll go on to 10, providing that it is necessary, all right? The textbook for the course is, let me go back to the course outline because I don't want to get the name incorrect, is International Business, the Challenges of Globalization. International Business, the Challenges of Globalization. Let me see if international, right. I was trying to find the PDF version of it because I'm not sure if you know that there are times when you can find, well, probably I shouldn't say this aloud, but there are times when you can find an actual textbook online if you know exactly how to search.
Sarah was just going to ask you to send us the link to that textbook.
No, I didn't find it. I found things around it, but I'm not finding the book itself. The paperback is just $6, and I was looking for a Kindle version. Let me go into my Kindle and see what's the cost for it on Kindle. Anybody has Amazon Kindle? What the? Hallelujah. I don't need this. Anyways, I'm not going into this foolishness. Why do they want me to? Well, you can get it, so you can buy the Kindle version. No one has Kindle? You have never heard about Kindle? Or Kindle is actually very, very good. I have some books on Kindle and it's really, really good. Digital books. So I wanted to see if we could search again. Because as I tell you, sometimes you can. I had a friend who, trust me, I don't know how he was able to do it, but he could find these books online. He was a computer whiz though. So I don't know if he was doing anything unethical to get the books. I didn't ask. I didn't ask. I think oh yes, the library. I think you should be able to access probably the digital version of the book. I think so. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. But that's the textbook. The text. Do you have the course outline? You guys have the course outline, or is it that I have to upload it? Hello?
No, sir, we don't have it.
Okay. All right, let me see something. International business. So I'm going to email it, but I've just shared it as well in the WhatsApp group. It really should be put on Moodle, but the course, they haven't opened the bin, the course bin on Moodle. Why am I downloading this? All right, so tell me if you're seeing it in the WhatsApp group. Because the textbook is on it. Okay, right. So you don't have to download it in WhatsApp. You can just email it to yourself. So that's a textbook. And if I were you, I would just go religiously with the textbook because they're going to set the paper from the textbook. Usually that's what they do. All right, submission of assignments. All right, anybody has ever heard about Turnitin? Has anyone ever heard about Turnitin?
Yes, sir. We had to use it for exam.
Okay. All right. So have you ever used it for submitting an assignment? Not exam, but for an assignment.
Yes, sir. It was there upon Canvas for us to submit our assignment and see.
Okay. So we're not using Canvas though. I don't use Canvas. All right. So let me share my screen and I'm going to create the class right now and you're going to write down the details. All right. Okay. Are you seeing my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, so other class, standard, yes. International business. Enrollment key, let's just call it International Business 2021. Subject area, usually I just put, it's not military, political science. Is it political? Well, I did it as political science. Let me see if you can go under anything else here. Yeah, it's really political science.
Sir, I think the school, they set up something on Canvas, even though we're doing the CCJ course. Them set it up that we could have run our business law is only course we do for our CCJ. And them set it up that we could have run our CCJ course through that. Then we upload it to Moodle.
Okay, I don't use that one. This is not difficult to know. I'm going to show you how to use it. It's the same thing. It's just that I have a space that I have all my students' assignments. All right, so can you write this down for me, the class ID, or take a picture of it? Class ID and the enrollment key. You will need that. Do we have that?
Yes, sir.
I think international business. Okay. All right. Do you know how to register? So you're not going to create an account. You're going to register for the. So here is the course. So now I'm just going to call it assignment 1. Come on, work for me. Isn't this thing plugged in? My internet shouldn't be giving me trouble. Oh, it's spinning. I'm going to call it in tutorial papers. So that's where you're going to upload your presentations. What you can do for Canvas, before you upload, you can run the paper to check for plagiarism. You can do it here as well, because I set it as non-repository, which means that you can, no, this is international business. That's what I should write here. There you go. No, July, no. It's going to be, let's say, August 30. Non-repository, where is that? Standard repository, no repository. Right. Submit. Are you sure? Hold on, let me see what they're saying here. All right, cancel. Hold on, what that means. What are they saying here? All right, so no, the due date is not that. Let's see if it works. You have set a post date. Where did I set that post date? This thing is always giving me problems. The post date. Should I bring it closer? That's what you want me to do? What the hell? No, it can't be that. All right, let's see. There you go. All right, can you just all add yourselves to this for me? Do you know how to? You're going to go to Turnitin and enter the details that I told you to copy. Let me know if you're having any challenge or if you're not sure what I'm talking about. Is everybody knows what I'm talking about? Hello?
Sir, what I said, go on Canvas and go and turn it in. And when I go and turn it in.
No, I never said go on Canvas. I said go type in Turnitin. Just type in Turnitin.
Go on Google. So I must minimize my screen here. Go on Google. Search for TURNIT, Turnitin.com. So I must click on plagiarism checker, X online plagiarism detection.
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
May I share my screen? Let me go back. Click on this.
All right, share your screen. Let me see what you're doing.
Share screen.
I was going to put the situation to you. All right, yes, because then you.
Seen my screen?
I am.
Which one I must go on?
All right, I told you to type in Turnitin.com in the search bar up the top, not there. Don't try and type it in. Do not type it in Ask. Just go up the top and search for it.
Yeah, man, 6 months. And 6 months.
You never needed to open another one. All it is where this thing is, the cursor is just type Turnitin.com.
It's not this estate as per what is set up. Give them the different state agencies.
So click on this one, the blue one?
Yes. All right, click close. Click close. Close, I said it's still, there it is. And go to login. Because you have the. All right, use the email address that you use, your email address. You should have a, is it, you did sign up for Turnitin, right?
No, sir.
All right, hold on. Go back for me. Go to login. Create an account. Sorry, create an account. Click on create an account. Student. Click on student. All right, and enter the information I gave you about class ID and enrollment key. It's in the WhatsApp group as well. I hope everybody is paying attention.
So I use the school ID or my personal one?
Anyone you choose. Prefer your school ID. Preferably your school ID. Your school ID starts with a capital R. Your email address for. I don't think you can copy and paste it. You have to type it out. Is that the same? It is not the same, you know, one has a capital R and one doesn't. Click on a secret question first. 2 passwords do not match.
Okay, much.
I think you need to accept the statement as well. Scroll down and scroll down for the acceptance of the terms. If I remember. All right, click I agree to create profile. All right, so go back up, something is wrong. Click OK and go back up. You have to click OK. You have to click OK there, yes, and scroll back up. It's going to indicate you where something went wrong. Right. The 2 emails do not match. One has the 2 of them are not saying the same thing, because you have at my.ec.edu.jm. Is it ECC? Isn't it at my.ecc? Yes. Hold on, just check to see if everything is the same thing. All right, I'm not a robot. Let's see if it works this time. Go back up and see what's wrong. Something is wrong with that email address. Does it usually start with a capital letter? Don't open why are you opening another one? None of them start with capital letters. Let's see if it works now. It's still saying that? I'm not a robot, you didn't click that. All right, go back. No man, go back up. You don't see there's still an error with your, click OK, go back up. Use a different email. All right. Enter the ID or key you have is incorrect. Please try again or contact your instructor. All right. Stop sharing for me. Okay, so we will get to that at another time. I can add some of you. So that was WhatsApp. Yeah, that was not WhatsApp. That was Turnitin. I did that. Did this. All right. Mr. Ramon Grosset, are you with us, sir?
Yes, sir. I am.
All right. Are you able to speak?
can.
Some of you, the reason why there's a way of how you can navigate that thing, but as I said before, I'll talk about, I'll address the whole notion of getting into the Turnitin class. All right, what I want for you guys to do for me, because I think, oh, before we go to that, so Mr. Grasset, just introduce yourself to us. Who are you? And why are you here? And what is it that you hope to get from this course?
Well, my name is Ramon Grosset. And I learned enough impactful difference in my life from this course.
What do you think the course is about?
Exams. I'm sorry?
What do you think the course is about? It's called international. It's called international business. It's called international. World, so businesses around the world.
How to conduct business around the world, different requirements for businesses around the world. I guess laws and regulations. Is that a part of it?
Okay. All right. So you will discover that. You will discover that. You will, because based on what we're going to do next. All right. So I'm going to put you in the breakout room. Pair you up, because how many persons are here? Well, relatively 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 groups. One group will have 3, one will have 5. So please, I want for you to listen carefully. So you're going to choose any international business that is in Jamaica. So you're going to choose any international business that is in Jamaica that you like. Tell me about their product or products or service or services. How many branches they have island-wide, and what kind of impact does this company have on Jamaica? Tell me if you hear my question. You understand what I'm asking you to do?
Yeah, you're saying basically to identify an international business and identify how many locations they have locally. And
locations
their impact
right, and their impact locally, on Jamaica, yeah. Right. And their impact on Jamaica, whether it be good or bad.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you about 10 to 15 minutes to do that, because I want for you to, if you can find like a video or anything, any kind of image or whatever, I want for you to share screen. All right, so ensure that somebody or all of you will talk. So I'm giving you 10 to 15 minutes for you to look at the company. Where's the company headquartered first? You know, it came to Jamaica. When did it come into Jamaica? You know, things like that. Give us a sense. And the important thing to note is the impact it has had on Jamaica, whether it be good and or bad. All right. Is that clear for everybody?
Clear.
Okay. I'm going to open the breakout room, and I'm going to so please go in the breakout room. I'm giving you 10 to 15 minutes to have that discussion. All right, so let's go with room 1, Ramon and Shanique. Let's hear it. If you can share a screen, go ahead. Ramon and Shanique, go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, sir. I'm actually using my phone. I'm in traffic driving.
If you can talk, that is accepted as well.
Yeah, so we chose to use Toyota Jamaica. It's an international company.
You're using, what's the name of that company?
Toyota Jamaica.
Oh, Toyota Jamaica. Okay, I didn't hear it.
They have 3 locations locally, with the headquarters at 427 Spanish Town Road in Kingston. They offer a wide variety of cars and SUVs and buses, bringing affordable motor cars to the Jamaican population. Safe and affordable cars, mind you.
It sounds like you work there, so you work there?
I've heard about it.
It sounds like you work there.
Yeah, man, I work there.
Right, Ramon. Then why did you choose a company that's called?
I didn't choose it, mind you.
No, that's called, it's unethical, sir. That's unethical. You should have had it.
I didn't choose it.
Mr. Grosset, I work in the private sector too, sir. So don't think that I'm just a lecturer. It's unethical for you. First of all, you should have declared your hands that the company that was selected is the company that I work, because I could hear it in your voice. I'm a trained marketer. So I hear it in your voice. You're talking as if you're doing a live interview trying to convince us to buy the cars. Safe and this and that. Next time, don't choose your company. It's called conflict of interest, sir.
Conflict of interest. I'm aware.
Yes. And you should declare your hands at the get-go before. All right? This is how corruption starts. And I'm just exaggerating. You know, I'm exaggerating. But in terms of the impact now, what would you say is the impact on Jamaica, good and or bad?
Which one should go first? Good or bad?
You determine that. Both of you.
I would say good. Good would be having someone to go to if you have issues with your car. So definitely bringing affordable cars to the population, to the masses. Cars that are designed for our region. You know, things that won't go bad on our fuel. Bad competition for other small businesses. Kind of. Why am I the one talking about?
Did you two work together? No, you remember you're supposed to work this out when you were doing the planning and all of that. You know?
I know everybody at work, so I guess I'm the only one driving, so I guess I can't talk. I can't think of too much.
Can't think of any bad?
I think of one or two, but you know.
So one, they're running small businesses, making it very difficult for small businesses
to make a profit.
To make a profit. But aren't Toyota Jamaica cars extremely expensive?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I had one. Well, anyways, let me not use, there you go. I should have declared my hands. I had a Toyota. One that was bought at that, from the company itself. I could think of one, but this is probably generally for cars, congestion.
Oh, definitely. And contributing to the pollution of the country.
Right. But that of course doesn't only go for Toyota Jamaica, but all car dealers or companies that do that. What's the
on the
go ahead.
Side, we also bring in hybrids to reduce the pollution. So
right. Yeah. Where is the parent? Let's say that where is the international headquarters?
In Japan.
Okay, so it's a Japan-owned brand. All right, and I didn't hear you talk about creating employment, bringing new technology, probably training local staff, things like that.
Yes.
Those are also some of the, we say the pros of Toyota Jamaica operating, a multinational corporation operating in Jamaica, or an international business operating in Jamaica. Shanique, I'm not sure if Shanique is able to talk to contribute to the discussion. You are a part of the peer.
Sir, I was supposed to do the introduction, but because I told him I was busy at work, so by the time you're ready to start, I was around the back.
Oh, okay. Can you say
and
anything
I was
now?
the one who chose Toyota Jamaica.
I am sure. I'm convinced that you chose Toyota Jamaica. It was never suggested to you.
Was never suggested.
It wasn't suggested. All right, Ramon. You're a sales rep or something there?
I am.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
I could hear it. FedEx. I heard it in your voice. All right. So thanks, guys. Ramon and Shanique. Room 2, Kayla and Rachel, which talk to us about your international business. What can you tell us about your international business?
Kayla, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go first.
Kayla says she'll go first.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Kayla.
So the company that we chose was Grace Kennedy.
Is Grace Kennedy an international business?
Yes.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
I think so. No.
All right.
So Grace Kennedy was founded in February 1922, and it's located in Kingston, Jamaica.
You mean the headquarters is located in Kingston, Jamaica?
Right. And the Grace Kennedy is across 60 countries worldwide.
Which countries?
Pardon?
Which countries specific? Be specific. Which countries are you talking about?
60 different countries worldwide.
What are the names of these countries?
Sir, in the listing you have, like, for the Caribbean will be Jamaica and Trinidad, but they're mostly across the Central and Northern Caribbean and the UK.
Okay. All right. What else about Grace Kennedy? Anything else about Grace Kennedy?
Yes, sir. Grace Kennedy is one of them very old companies in Jamaica. Actually started in Jamaica, and then with the use of globalization, it became a global. It became a global company, sir, in terms of how it benefits the country. I am not closing down too much on COVID, but for now, the article that I found was speaking more to COVID. Like, it spent $21.5 million assisting with grants for university students. It benefited communities that it operates in by giving them care packages and also donating tablets for them, for students who are in need of tablets for school. And it also, as it relates to digitizing, it also established 2 new business units, digital transformation and a merger and acquisition as a part of their strategic growth. So once that grows and develops, then it will benefit Jamaica more.
All right, so next time around, though, you have to put these things in your own words, because if you do like that in an essay, you're going to find that you are either intentionally or unintentionally lifting the information word for word. All right. So you have to find a way. I'll help you to show you how to kind of do that. All right, so this is the homework. I want for you to find either a dancehall or a reggae song that speaks about globalization, multinational corporation, international business, internationalization. Just find a song that speaks to any of that. That's the homework. Everybody understands?
Find a song?
Song, yes. Dancehall or reggae.
Okay.
Dancehall or reggae that speaks to or speaks about globalization or internationalization or multinational corporations or foreign direct investments, anything like that. And trust me, there are several songs, many songs. All right. And then no, when you find the song, I want for you to tell us, share in the class, what is the song saying specifically about this international concept or movement or region or product or service? What is it saying about as I just said before, the various, I mentioned a number of variables, all right? Because you're going to find that popular culture is also speaking to and speaking about international businesses and how they operate across the globe. All right, have a good evening, everybody. I have another class I teach for another 2 hours. Are there any questions? Oh, Ramon, they should ask them to add it to the WhatsApp group.
Oh yeah, man, I'm sure I'll be added shortly.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right.
Sir, you were the only one that needed adding.
Oh, I was the only one. Okay, so that I didn't know. All right, guys, so I'll see you guys next week, Monday. Just remember the homework in terms of finding the song and somewhat talking about what the song is saying about the various the variables that I've mentioned. All right. Bye, okay, everybody.
Sir. Yeah, man. Have a good evening.
Same to you, sir.